got a rifle on a hunting rack, best friend in the back, old hound riding shotgun. I got a camouflage mud truck looking for a big buck creeping through the dusky dawn. Big bright floodlights cutting through the dark night make a path to the deer stand. Pray to God Almighty, quiet as I can be, waiting for the aftermath. We've been dreaming all year for the season, waiting for the leaves to fall. We'll be looking for a 12-point buck, man. He'll be chasing that doe. Fire up your guns, draw back your bows, let the lead out, let the hammer go. Put some meat on the table, horns on the wall, take a picture, show it off to your pawpaw. You're a different kind of animal, hiding in the brush. Look at what it does when hunting's in your blood.
Opening day rifle season 2013. It's afternoon hunt. I'm overlooking a bottom here, kind of on the side of a ridge. There's a pretty good deer path coming behind me and in front of me. So I got the rifle and I'm ready to put something down.
Well, it looks like you had some action going on here. And it looks like to me, out in front of you there, it's pretty thick.
Yeah, you know, you can probably see 60 yards through the timber. And I'd seen a couple of deer that evening. Just hard to get them on the camera with them weaving in and out of the trees.
Yeah.
I'd pick out a spot where I thought I could shoot, and I couldn't find him on camera. And that went on for an hour. He just was out there feeding.
Yeah.
And finally, when it was about to get totally dark, I decided to go ahead and take him.
Well,
Even though I didn't get it all on camera, I had some deer footage.
You know, low light plus thick conditions makes it hard to film, because every time you move the camera on a spot and you get ready, the deer's already through there. So then you got to remove the camera, get the gun ready, the deer's already through there.
Yeah.
So
going into rifle season, I thought it was going to be really easy.
Yeah.
Because of all the deer that I'd seen during bow season, but it turns out it was even harder. Because the ones that I thought normally without a camera I could have just shot them and it'd been over with. Well, this little button buck came in. He was feeding around for about 45 minutes before dark. He was just far enough away I couldn't get very much footage of him. And it was getting dark. He finally come out in an opening kind of behind me. Low light, it was low light and I couldn't get the camera to pick it up. And I didn't want to miss the opportunity, so I went ahead and decided to take it. It's a button buck. He went down right there, so there wasn't any tracking job. But that's be good eating. I'm gonna be back after it tomorrow with a buck tag. Try to get something else.
Well, Joe, we're still in rifle season.
Right.
And I see here Randy walking, and he's got something in his hand.
Yeah. Well, most importantly, he's got his coffee mug, and then he's got his rifle as well.
Oh, so as long as he's got the coffee, he's okay.
That's the main thing.
Oh, that's the main thing. Okay. Well, I see you guys are down here at the blind, and you're getting set up, and it looks like maybe you're putting out some scent.
Yeah, he's got the Bean Creek doe estrus, and we had a little bit of buck tarsal off the buck that I had collected.
Oh, the one you collected.
Yeah,
okay.
It was.
Okay.
We spread that around. He used quite a bit of the doe estrus.
Did you make some mock scrapes, or were there some real scrapes?
No, he was just spraying it around on the ground and kind of in the trees and stuff. I think he may have had a scent wick or something.
Randy 80 is quite the guy to hunt with.
Lots of stories.
Oh, lots of stories. You get in a turkey blind or a deer blind with Randy, you can anticipate and expect a story.
Right. You know, can't record them all. We don't have that many batteries.
Oh, probably 20 years ago. maybe even longer, maybe 25. It had predicted a big rain the next day. It's the day before opening day season. And I just bought me a new rifle. And I sure wasn't wanting to get that rifle soaking wet. So I found me a long plastic bag that rifle would just fit in. And brought that plastic bag with me the next morning. Sure enough, it was absolutely coming a pitchfork rain the next morning whenever I got here. So I put my new rifle down in this plastic bag and put some dough and heat urine on my boots, and I headed off from my stand. I had to walk probably close to 300 yards from where I parked my pickup to this stand. Climbed up in the stand, and I'll tell you right now, my butt wasn't even wet. And I looked up, and here come a pretty nice 8-point buck right in my tracks. I mean, he was tracking that dough and heat urine. And he stops out there, 20 yards or so from me. And, you know, he's just kind of staring and looking, but he's got the does on his mind, so he ain't sure what he wants to do. Any other time he would have been the heck out of there. Because here I am, I'm trying to take this plastic bag, and you can imagine a plastic bag on a cold morning. You can imagine how this plastic bag was making racket. I'm trying to pull it off this gun. When I get it off the gun, it slides, comes a little puff of wind, it slides right down the tree. It just makes all kinds of racket. Of course, this buck's on high alert, and then I raise my rifle up, scope the fog plumb up, can't see nothing through it. So I'm thinking, at this distance, this deer, you know, there's no way I can miss this deer. I can just look down the side of the barrel and shoot him. So I took what I thought was a good aim, and I shot just under this deer. Of course, the leaves just boiled on the other side of him, and this deer runs right at my stand, and I'm sitting in a wooden ladder stand. He missed my stand by probably 1.5 feet, and the whole time I'm still shooting at him. Runs right under my stand, and I empty my gun. I empty this new gun. He runs down a point, and of course, you know, the scope fogged up in the plastic bag. Well, as soon as I got it out of the plastic bag, of course, the good scope, it just unfogged immediately. I raised the scope up with an empty gun, and the deer had stopped to take one last look, and he was looking at me, and I didn't have any way of shooting him. By the time I got reloaded, he was off the hillside and gone.
I don't see how this happens. I thought it was just me. And now it looks like we got something coming at you guys.
Yeah, there's something coming down the hill. Can't really tell what it is. I think I better look at it. Not too sure if it's not a Yeti.
What's a Yeti?
A large hairy creature resembling a human or bear, said to live in the highest part of the Himalayas, aka Lucas 80.
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot? Seriously?
He may be trying to slip up on us. He's failed if he's still trying to do that.
He was driving this deer.
Oh, the old deer drive.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
I think he was just trying to squeeze in on our spot and
Is that
caught
what
us there.
Here's another Bean Creek Outdoor product, friend of ours, Lucas 80. And it's rifle season. He's on the ground, and it's that time of year.
Yeah, I thought Brad would enjoy the squirrel footage. That seems to be the only thing he can see, you know, when he's out in the woods. It's pretty cool seeing all the different animals you get to see when you're out in the woods, like these bobcats that come up on me this morning. Just neat to get to see them. Well, that was pretty neat. Always cool to see a bobcat. That was a little kitten that I got on film, but I would say it was a mama cat. She come right in behind me here, and I'd say I scared her. I mean, obviously I scared the kitten too, but I'd say I scared her when I tried to turn on the camera to video the kitten there. That's pretty cool. Well, it's the second morning of the Missouri rifle season, and it's been horrible weather. I mean, horrible weather. Windy, warm. It's like 70 degrees this morning. The wind blowing about 30 miles an hour. But you ain't gonna kill them if you're not out in the woods. And I was sitting here this morning, and little doe, pretty nice looking little doe, come up through there. I'll put a little meat in the freezer, save on the grocery bill a little bit. This deer came in, it was the second day of rifle season, and I was actually self-filming and sitting on the ground on top of that, and there was, where she came from, there was a lot of little small pine trees, and you couldn't see real far, and the footage is really quick just because I heard her before I seen her. I guess we'll walk over here and kind of take a look at her and see what we got. I'm pretty sure pretty small doe though. Like I said, be good eating. There ain't no track job. I think the 308 put her on the ground right where she was standing. She fell right by a pretty nice rug there. We're gonna check her out here. Pretty nice little doe. Gonna be really good eating. Really good eating. I ain't sure exactly where I hit her at. The 308 looks like I hit her in the neck. The 308 done a really good job on her, that's for sure. Put her down right where she was at. So we're gonna go back over here, sit down for a little bit. Maybe a buck will come through. Now we're looking for some good horns the rest of the season, so stay tuned.
Hey Joe! Folks need to check us out at fulldrawmadness.com or check our Facebook page out at B&D Full Draw Madness.
Also check out Bean Creek Outdoor Products on Facebook and beancreekoutdoors.com. It's November 22nd. It's evening hunt on the corner of a field. I'm gonna sit here till dark. Hopefully something comes by. I had some scent out, and I'd have been doing some blind calling with the grunt and bleats and whatnot. So chances are he come into that, or he was just working his way through that field. But when he come out there, some other deer ran across the field, and he took off after them. And another buck come out of the corner, and they all ran off there in the woods, and I could hear some rustling around. So I wanted to get their attention, and I started blowing on that grunt tube quite a bit.
Pretty aggressive.
Yeah, pretty aggressive, because I knew they was within earshot of hearing it.
Well, you know, I've heard people say that grunting and rattling is really, you know, they talk about Texas and they're grunting and rattling. But I've had success doing it. I've rattled in bucks, I've grunted in bucks. You have, many people have, you know. So, folks, it works. If you want a little bit more action to your hunt, maybe not so much action, but a little bit more hands-on on your hunt besides just sitting around and waiting, grab a grunt call, grab a rattle bag, and play around with it. You know, it's worked for me.
Every 20 or 30 minutes.
Yes.
By the time you start getting bored,
Yep.
bleed a few times.
Sure, yeah.
You know?
The doe bleed.
The doe bleed is the best.
It is.
Because you'll get does and bucks. If you're out just wanting to kill something and not worried about it, you know, because you'll get does and young deer and bucks and everything with the bleed. And it took about 15 minutes, and then that buck came back out, and he was definitely looking for what other deer was over there.
Was he looking for a fight, maybe?
I think so.
Yeah.
He was a young buck,
Yeah.
probably more curious than anything. Well, he went down right there. That was one of them that came through just a minute ago. I guess there's no sense in whispering anymore. Guess I'll get my stuff together and get down and go take a look at him and try to get a picture of him before it gets too dark. See you on the ground.
Circus Olay. Folks, when this deer gets shot, it looks like to me, it almost does a complete backflip. Well, you had a good season this year. Good job, Joe. You guys done good.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, had a good season.
Yeah.
Some people didn't, so they didn't have as good a season. But it was fun. Well, I'm running out of light pretty fast here. This is my first buck ever on camera. I filmed myself. It's 8-pointer. It's a young deer, but I'm sure proud of him. He come in just like he's supposed to. I think this was the first one that walked through, and while he's out there, I grunted with my mouth trying to get him to stop so I could get a better look at him. And another buck chasing a doe come across the field. And then another buck come from that way. And they went in the woods and I heard some crashing around. It sounded like, I think they was fighting. But, so I decided to get my Bing Creek Outdoor Products grunt tube. I had it right here on my neck. And I grunted a few times and snort wheezed. About 5 minutes went by and this buck came back out. And he was coming, as you can see on video, he was coming right towards me. This will be fine eating. Now I've got a doe tag left, and I may save it for muzzleloader season. Or you might see me shoot one in the morning. What we got going next week?
Well, folks, next week's kind of a Heinz 57 hunt. It's alternative method season, and we're hunting. We got a crossbow hunt, we've got a black powder hunt, and pretty exciting. So tune in with us next week, folks, and join the madness.
Bigfoot? Seriously?